The Rinne Festival by Vulgar Assassin Summary. Could you go with me to the Rinne Festival, please? Naruto needs a pretend date to the Rinne Festival to get his fangirls off his back, and Ino says yes. After all, they'd just be going as friends, right? Where is he? Ino had to stop herself from rolling her eyes, instead plastering on her practiced business smile. Hello, welcome to Yamanaka Flowers. How may I help you today? Don't play games. The girl put her hands on her hips. I know Naruto-sama came into this shop. I need to ask him something. Ino made a show of looking around the empty shop, her head swiveling from side to side. That's strange. I don't see him anywhere. The fangirl's cheeks flushed, her shoulders dropping when she realized that Naruto was nowhere to be found. Was this about the Rinne Festival? Ino asked. The girl nodded. Ah, so you must have a gift for him already, Oh, well, not yet. Ino smiled at the girl. I have an idea. While you're here, why not get a bouquet for him? I'm sure you know he loves taking care of flowers, right? The girl's mouth dropped, shaking her head. No, I didn't know that. I was in the same rookie class as him, so I know all these sorts of juicy details. Ino winked at her. Here, I'll even give you a nice discount. What do you say? Thanks a lot, miss. Sure, I'll get a bouquet. Ino cut some fresh flowers, arranging them in a pretty display and then wrapping them up for the fangirl-turned-customer. Bye-bye, I hope to see you back here soon. Ino waved at the girl who bowed on her way out, the shop door jingling. Is she gone? This time Ino did roll her eyes. Yes, Naruto. She's gone. He rose out from underneath the counter, patting himself off. Thanks for hiding me. But did you really have to dupe her into getting some flowers? Dupe? She came into a flower shop and left with some flowers. Ino sniffed and raised her nose at him. Yeah, but now she's gonna find me sooner or later and give them to me. And I've already got a bunch of flowers and plants that way cause of you. Well. Ino smirked up at him. Maybe you shouldn't come here to hide from your fangirls so often then. Naruto tapped his finger against his chin, feigning a thought before beaming at her. I suppose another flower or two ain't gonna hurt. Ino laughed, exactly. Now come and help me close the store. I still have some flowers in the back that need to be repotted. Aye. Naruto saluted her before vaulting over the counter, heading toward the door to lock it and turn down the window shades. Between the two of them, the cleanup and closing of the store went quickly, both ushering into the back room to work on repotting the flowers. Naruto had learnt a lot from all the times he'd hung out with Ino, and she'd force him to help her. After some grumbling, he'd be eager to learn. She hadn't exactly lied to that girl. Naruto was keen about plants and flowers and especially the care of them. Naruto wasn't quite a natural green thumb, but he was attentive and careful with the plants, and through touch and feel he'd become quite an accomplished florist. Though it helped that he had the best teacher in Konoha, in Ino's humble opinion. Which was why she never used to understand why he didn't just use his shadow clones to get everything done. But you wouldn't have anything to do, he said when she asked once. Ah. No way, you're doing this to punish me? Ino's cheeks were hot, not because she minded the work, it was more the principle of the thing. Nah, I mean, I like watching you work, you know? I like the way you handle everything all delicate. I like the way the dirt looks underneath your fingernails. He smiled at her, looked her straight in the eyes, like that was a normal thing to say to your friend. Her cheeks were hot, and this time it wasn't with anger. Ino never brought it up again, but always thought about it when Naruto was working with her, his shoulder brushing against hers, the smell of his cologne mixing with the perfume of the flowers and the earthiness of wet soil. It was potent like a genjutsu, the way it had her brain buzzing, the way it made her question herself. You know, his voice broke her out of her stupor, their task nearly finished. I'm guessing that girl was gonna ask me to go with her to the Rinne Festival. Ino tilted her head and looked at him. Okay? Naruto's face flushed, his hand coming up to scratch his cheek, leaving behind some smudged dirt on his tan skin. It's, well, that a couple of girls have asked me already. Ino raised an eyebrow at him. Are you trying to brag? No. I've been telling them I already have a date to the festival, but, Oh, is that so? His skin tinted darker. Could you go with me to the Rinne Festival, please? Ino stared at him. Naruto held his hands up, waving them. Just so I can convince them. Otherwise, they'd be all over me. Oh, sorry, I didn't even ask if you had a date already or nothing. I know a lot of people must have asked you already, what with, you being so, Dash. His face was red like a tomato, and Ino vacillated between being annoyed at his casual remarks about his fangirls, and how adorable it was when he blabbered like a fool. She'd gotten soft, his adorableness won through. Sure, I'll be your date. Naruto froze for a second, before beaming like the sun, his body nearly vibrating. Thank you. He hugged her, crushing Ino tight in his embrace, his body warm like the sun too. You dummy, you're going to leave dirt stains on my clothes. Despite that, she cozied into his embrace. They held it a beat longer than friends should, Naruto finally pulling back, his hands still on her arms. Sorry, he said, his smile still so wide it must have hurt. Ino tucked away some loose strands of hair behind her ear, ignoring the temperature of her cheeks when her fingers brushed them. Come on, let's finish repotting these flowers, and then you can buy me some Ichiraku. The festival was in a few days, a giddiness bubbling within her as the day finally arrived. That's a nice jacket, it really suits you, Naruto complimented her when he picked her up. Oh, this old thing? Ino made a show of looking down at the puffy purple jacket. Actually, she kept it mostly untouched in the back of her closet, but he didn't need to know that. Naruto smirked, and she supposed he could see through her facade. I bet, huh? Really cute, but I think orange would suit you even more, Ino laughed, knowing you, if I wore a paper bag and it was orange, you'd think it would look good. That depends. Would you be wearing anything under that bag? His smirk wasn't innocent, his eyes roaming over her form. Heat crawled up her neck, and down to her stomach too, even as she reached out to slap his arm. You stop that right now, you pervert. He laughed, deep and rich, his hand catching hers and twining their fingers together. Don't get so riled up, yeah? We've got a festival to enjoy. Naruto dragged her, huffing behind him, to the town square where most people had gathered. A light snow dusted down from the sky, the moon large and bright, almost rendering the street lamps unnecessary. There were a variety of vendors, bundled up, chanting out their wares, from food to souvenirs. Festival games with gaudy prizes attracted the attention of many children, young men trying to win something for their partners. And many ambled along the path to the shrine, where they would pay their respect to the dead and to offer blessings and wishes that they hoped to achieve in the following year. Hey, we've got some time until the fireworks, what do you want to do? Taiyaki is a must, obviously. Obviously, Naruto interrupted her with a grin. Ino raised her nose at him, obviously, and then we should go to the shrine. Sounds like a plan. They walked around the town square keeping an eye out for a taiyaki vendor, and Ino couldn't help but notice how many young women, and some even older than that, gave her envious looks as she walked hand in hand with Naruto. She knew how popular he was, high-stake material as she liked to call it, since he often hid in her shop from his swarm of fangirls, but it was different when she was also on the receiving end of the attention. Naruto was either so used to it, or didn't care, because he was completely unfazed, chattering with Ino while he looked around. Oh, over there! He pointed with his bandaged arm, pulling her along to the vendor. Gosh, Naruto, you need to stop dragging me around like that. Sorry, guess I'm not really used to holding hands with anyone. Naruto slowed down his stride, scratching at his reddening cheek. That's all right, I'm not going to run away, Ino teased, gently squeezing his hand. Let's take our time, okay? Naruto smiled and nodded, his shoulders relaxing as they waited in line for the taiyaki. What kind do you want? I'll go for red bean, how about you? Chocolate. Ino giggled, your sweet tooth is worse than mine. Naruto shrugged but smiled at her, ordering for them when they got to the front of the line. Here you go, Uzumaki-sama. The vendor handed over the 2 taiyaki. Don't worry about paying for your girlfriend, it's free of charge for her. It's the least I can do for you. Ino's cheeks went hot, and Naruto's jaw dropped. Ino glanced at his face for a moment, his eyes catching her own, and she flitted her sight away. Oh, thanks a lot, sir. He paid for the food, and they walked away from the vendor, Naruto handing over one of the pastries to Ino. While that was awkward, Ino mumbled between bites of the delicious taiyaki. She licked her lower lip, swiping up some spilled red bean jam. Was it? Naruto looked over at her, his eyes heavy on her lips before locking back on her face. The heat on Ino's cheeks rushed down her neck and she fought the urge to cover her mouth. We're on a date, so I figured it'd be alright to pretend we're boyfriend-girlfriend for the night, yeah? That's really presumptive. Come on, how bad could it be to date me? Ino tapped her lip in mock thought. Oh boy, if I speak now we'll be here all night. Naruto laughed at her. Fuck off, Ino. They finished their taiyaki, Naruto grabbing her hand again. Let's head toward the shrine. Naruto took a slow pace this time, and Ino enjoyed the cool, crisp winter air in her lungs, and the warmth of Naruto by her side. The shrine was crowded. While the Rinne Festival had taken on a more commercial appearance over the years, a time to give gifts to your family and your beloved, the shrine and respecting one's ancestors was still a well-respected tradition. The shrine maiden at the entrance handed each of them a piece of paper and a pen. Please use any tree in the area to tie up your blessings. Also, please make sure to return the pens when you are finished. Happy Rinne Festival! They went to pray first, Ino thinking deeply about her father, hoping he was proud of the things she had done, praying he would look over her future too. When they finished, they wrote their wishes on the paper. Ino tried to peek over Naruto's shoulder, but he nudged her away. Don't do that, he pouted. My wish won't come true if you see it. Oh my god, Ino rolled her eyes, tying her paper on a tree branch. You used to scream fate and destiny doesn't exist, but you believe in something like that? This and that are different. Anyway, what did you write then? Secret. She stuck her tongue out at him. I knew it, you believe in it too. Ino ignored his accusation. The fireworks should be starting soon, Naruto. Let's get a good position to watch them. She took his hand, his left one because she liked to feel his skin against hers, the warmth of this touch. Ino led them through the crush of people, heading to the front of the area where the display would be held. A mass of people were gathered, people chattering about the festival and of the fireworks to come. Naruto, beside her, seemed to be vibrating, the same as when she said she would go to the festival with him. What's wrong? That excited to see the fireworks? Or is the sugar rush from the taiyaki hitting you now? She teased. Naruto glanced at her, and then stared at her and her smile dropped. What is it? Is something actually wrong, Naruto? No. It's, well. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Actually, I got you something. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box with a bow. I guess I was too eager to give it to you. He held it out for her, and Ino took it. Can I open it now? Naruto nodded and Ino delicately pulled at the bow, unraveling it so she could pull the top of the gift box off. Inside was a simple unmarked bottle filled with a lightly colored fluid. It's perfume. She smiled up at him. I could tell. Thank you so much, Naruto. Where did you get it from? Ino looked back at the bottle, turning it over, not noticing any distinguishing marks from any brands. I made it. Ino's head snapped up. What? With flowers from your shop. Rose and jasmine, your favorites. Ino looked at the bottle again in awe. Wow, that you made this, Naruto? I can't believe it, I'm so grateful, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get you anything, since people usually give gifts to their well, you know. Yeah, I do know. And that's why I wanted to give you the gift today, during the Rinne Festival. Her heart stuttered, and she looked up at him, her face hot. Naruto's eyes were clear like the sky. What do you mean? He smiled at her, that warmth she felt to her core. And it was startling how different her affection for Sasuke was back in the day, how cold and distant he was, through no fault of his own. And how here she was with Naruto, her whole body lit up from the way he looked at her. The stuff about the fangirls and needing a date for the festival, to be honest, all that was an excuse. I just wanted to take you. I wanted to be here with you. The fireworks went off behind her, people cheering around them, the illumination reflecting off of Naruto's eyes, making them shimmer like jewels, but he never once looked away from her. Instead, he leaned forward so she could hear him over the noise. I've been around you too much, you know? I was charmed, and then a lot more. I'm fond of you in ways I don't really got the words to describe, so I'll say it as simply as I can. I love you. The crowd was cheering, the bang of the fireworks behind her, and all Ino could hear was the pounding of her heart. All she could see was Naruto's adoring face. Ino almost dropped the perfume bottle, reaching for Naruto's face, holding him close and kissing him. His lips frozen for a moment before they moved against hers, his arms wrapping tight around her body. They broke with the next set of fireworks, their faces and lips red, panting out breaths that were visible in the chilly winter air. We should go get some more taiyaki, we can tell the vendor you're my girlfriend for real now. Ino giggled, hugging him again, the last set of fireworks going off behind her, the crowd around them dispersing, but she didn't think she would ever want to leave that spot. It's funny, Ino mumbled into his chest, not even the new year and my wish came true. Naruto laughed, cupping her cheeks and kissing her chaste on the lips, grinning like a madman, and she matched it. She was right, it did hurt. But she couldn't stop, happiness blooming through her, that felt like it would never stop if she was with him. Really funny, 'cause mine came true too. Happy Rinne Festival, Ino. Happy Rinne Festival, Naruto.